absolute chode that's coming out of that Lancer.
Not bad, good choice.
Oh, look at this fully sick Lancer, bro. Oh, yes, we go for a spin with the boys. Oh, he doesn't even change the wheels. It's just a massive muffler on it. Oh, go for the boys. Oh, drift machine. Yeah, man. Simmons. Mate, is that a Supra? What laser, boys? Got a Falcon in its natural habitat. Missing its front leg. What's the bet? These wheels are just going to turn out to be absolute shit.
In the business, we call this
breakfast.
Like, not even worth the price of admission. Just scuffed, scratched, painted. What do you reckon? My goodness, what a beautiful car. Over here, my boys, let's get ourselves some heckin' wheels.
I'd say that's one of the worst ones.
Yeah, I did see they were a bit scuffed, but it's alright.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Are they 3-piece or?
I wouldn't assume it. They came on a car that we didn't want to use.
So is $650 your best price? Would you take $550?
No, honestly, no.
6?
Alright. Yeah, perhaps 600 without the
Sure.
insurance and whatnot.
Now, I have cash on this. Are you okay with bank payment for you?
You know what, like bank.
Success. We have the wheels. Great success. Oh, we gave it the beans. Yeah, do you want me to? Well, we got the wheels. Got ourselves a vegan. Let's get him back to the workshop. Oh, look at Mr. Speed Demon here in his S15, bruv. Where's the Euros? Where is the Euros? I haven't seen one of them in a long time.
Neither have I.
He's having a go, isn't he? Yeah, bud. Simmons! Let's make a car have a wrap that looks like the paint's faded on it. Like, let's... looks like a dildo.
Maybe that's the point.
A little black rocket. So we managed to snag these puppies for $600, bargain. But they reflect $600 wheels. They're pretty rough. Now I don't know what he was doing with these cars, whether he was driving around. Every wheel has rash on it, even the rears. So unless they saw some light track use, this guy's clearly just an ass trumpet. But in any case, we're gonna fix them. I will preface that these will not be perfect by the end of the day. Unfortunately, there is too much heavy damage to them, some big gouges out, that they need special machining to fix. But in the spirit of things, bugger that. We don't have the budget for that. That'd probably cost more than the wheels. So we're going to clean them up, get them as nice as possible. And if I could get them to the stage of good enough and that you barely notice it, that's the goal. Anyway, and I just want to note as well, I'm not a professional. I am a backyard DIYer. So take everything I do today at your own risk and do your own research. Now, you'll see lots of videos where they'll use orbital sanders on the flat surface, which is really good. But the problem is these wheels, there's no flat surface. They're all beveled and curved and all over the place. So an orbital sander just won't really cut it for us. There might be some parts where we might be able to use it, but not really. So today, what we'll be using instead is a file sander. It has a very thin surface area, so we'll be able to isolate what we need to and not touch areas that are perfectly fine. We'll also be touching up with a Dremel with a little sanding head, and I was testing it a bit last night, and it came up okay. So I'm hoping that with the right tools and a bit of good old-fashioned gumption, they'll come out pretty good. Anyway, let's get to work. Whew, so after a lot of sanding, I finally stripped all the clear coat back. That was a bigger job than I'd thought, but when in Rome, double your workload. That's the saying, right? One of the reasons I ended up sanding back the whole wheel is the clear coat was pretty compromised. There was big, not so much scratches, but something had eaten into it. There was a lot of imperfections, and instead of just doing, you know, little touch jobs here and there, I just thought, bugger, I'll just do the whole thing. It was a big job. Hopefully you won't have to do it if you're fixing up some wheels, but it's the game of Russian roulette that you play where all the cylinders are loaded. So really at this point, it had to happen. But we're also going to sand the center because we're going to paint this, but we're going to prime it first. And whilst the previous paint is probably coarse enough that it is something for it to adhere to, I'd like the uniform matte finish of the filler primer to go on first, then paint, and then clear. And also, we won't be clearing the exterior. There's a couple of good reasons. Now, that is personal preference on my behalf. General rule of thumb is you would put a clear coat over aluminium after you've polished it up. However, you don't have to. And my reasoning for it is, one, there's still a fair bit of imperfections that I might want to redo at a later date. And polishing up isn't too bad. And car will only be a weekend driver. It's not a daily, or it won't be driven in any very harsh conditions. And we don't have salt roads here in Adelaide. I think the aluminium will fare pretty well. And at that point, if it gets a bit duff, it's pretty easy to just, you know, buff it back and then clean it up. So that's my reasoning. And you know what? The thing is, we could just clear it at a later date if we need to. It's such a pain to sand it all down so that you can clean it up. So I never want to go through that again because of all the bevels and stuff. It's really hard to get into. So we'll just be painting and clearing the center, and the exterior will be nice and polished aluminium look. So I'm pretty keen. Let's see how this polish comes on, hey? So the lips are all done, all finished, and they're looking pretty schmick if I say so myself. Now we actually have to paint the center of them. Now, as you can probably tell, we are in a carport.
Well, duh.
And that does not spell good for paint. They go everywhere, we'll get over the car. So I did actually pick up a while ago this handy dandy this handy dandy like little painting booth. It's not, calm down big fella. I never actually used it. I bought it like a year ago, completely forgot about it for another project, and well, it's come to the rescue now. So we're going to get this set up, get the wheels on there, and give them a bit of primer so they can be painted. I reckon it's going to look pretty anyway, let's get to it. So we got a nice little tent set up for a little backyard DIY, and now we have the absolute fun time of masking up the wheels. this is going to be a long and painful process, but it needs to be done. Obviously, we're only painting the center bit, not the lip or the rear of the wheel or anything. So there's a fair bit of masking, and I had to buy bloody meshies, didn't I? Because they're the ones with all the little slots and all that kind of thing. So I've definitely got my work cut out for me. So just let's get it done. So the wheels are now done and they're looking pretty schmick. Now, I'm not gonna lie, they're not perfect. There were a few issues in the painting process, and I'll be honest, I don't think I primed the surface well enough. However, we've gotten to the stage of good enough. Now, there's one thing I want to point out with a job like this. Say you've got like some $3,000 work equips and you want to paint them, don't do it. Don't do this shit. This is kind of a job for those crappy $400 reps that you got lying around that you just wanted to give a bit of a sparkle. But if you've got expensive wheels, pay someone else to do it. This is not worth it, and you really do run the risk of messing up your wheels. But at the end of the day, for crappy Facebook Marketplace bag and, you know, that are $600, why not? They were pretty crap anyway, so let's get them a little less crap. That being said, they did come up fair good. At a distance, you're not going to notice. There was just a bit of poor masking and bad adhesion, but I can fix them up, no problem. They still look 1,000 times better than they did before. Unfortunately, the duct tape I'd used was pretty cheap, and it has left some of the adhesive on the wheel, so I got to polish that out and do a bit of tidy up because I didn't mask up the wheels well enough. But all in all, it's not a big job. Honestly, considering I spent $600 for the wheels and about $80 worth of paint, I reckon they look pretty good. Obviously, if you've got really expensive wheels, you'd get them like plastic dipped, or you'd at least get a professional look at them, and trust me, I'm no professional. I'm a DIY man. But let's get these puppies on so you can see how terrible my paint job was. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching some Dumpty with a few tools and no knowledge. Overpay for some wheels and marginally improve them. I was going to get a nice shot of them on the car. We got one on the car, but, well, just take a look at this, shall we? You piece of shit.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good
having
morning.
me. Morning to you.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
So, as you can tell, we've been having a bit of fun here. And, well, I think we're using fun in the most liberal of senses. My life is a living hell right now, so that's great. Basically, we went to do the wheel bearings and the lower ball joints, and we got the wrong ones again, because of course we did. So it's going to sit up with its ass in the air for a while, because it's got more knocks in the rear end than Nicki Minaj on a dating site. So at this point, we do not know when it's going to be on the road. They estimate a bit of time for the parts, but who knows, probably take a while. But we've got some interesting new videos. I've got some quite interesting things planned that I'm sure you will appreciate, but I'm not going to spoil it for you now because I haven't recorded it yet, so sucked in. So in any case, you have yourself a lovely day. We will see you in the next one, which will hopefully be soon, but that's very dependent on eBay.